Hi everyone, my name is Jermaine G and I am the creator behind Your Life and Finance. Your Life and Finance was created to be a resource to Black millennial women in an effort to educate them on how to be financially savvy in both their professional and personal lives. I am also using my platform to shed some light on the not so talked about areas when it comes to being financially educated. It's no secret that a lack of financial education is what holds many of us back, especially in the African American community. Today, I'm diving into a topic that isn't necessarily new, but could use some more awareness, and that's domestic violence. If you didn't know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so I'm taking some time to shed some light on financial abuse. You may be thinking, what does finances have to do with domestic abuse? Well, financial abuse happens in about 99% of domestic violence cases. Finances are often the biggest factor in why victims either stay or return to their abuser. Financial abuse is a tactic used to gain control in a domestic violence situation and often starts very subtle in the beginning. I also want to make it very clear that a victim can either be male or female, but being that 84% of victims are women, that's where I'm going to direct my attention. According to the National Network to End Domestic Violence, controlling finances is one of the most powerful methods used to keep a victim trapped in a domestic violence relationship. Some common forms of financial abuse are controlling how money is spent, being forbidden to work, and if you are able to work, having to give over your paycheck to your abuser, money being withheld, having no access to bank accounts, racked up debt, ruined credit, stolen identity, and being given an allowance. In most cases, when a victim contemplates leaving, the first thing they think about is how, with what money, how am I going to survive without this abuser? Money in your financial situation is a huge part of that. How am I going to leave? So how does financial abuse start? As in other domestic violence cases, it starts off as very subtle and often disguises itself as concern and love for the victim. The abuser may seem like they really want to take care of you, when in reality, the idea is to gain complete control over you. Then what typically happens is the victim starts to ask questions about finances or tries to make financial decisions and is blocked from doing so. In a lot of cases, the victim is completely removed from accounts or blocked, and or access to these accounts is completely terminated. I am well aware that leaving an abuser is easier said than done. However, it is my hope that as women begin to become more empowered financially, the statistics of those who do leave will increase. Also, as you become more financially educated, you'll understand the dangers of completely relinquishing control of your finances over to someone else. The effects of financial abuse doesn't just stop when you get out of the situation. The effects of financial abuse can last for decades, which is why financial education is so important. So how do you build financial security and recover from financial abuse? You can first start by gathering all of your important documents and transferring them to a safe place. Those documents include your social security card, your birth certificate, passport, anything that you deem is really important and you wouldn't want someone else to have. And you would gather that for you as well as your children if you have any. Some people keep these items locked away in a lockbox or a safety deposit box at a bank, or you can keep it locked away at a P.O. box at a post office. As you can imagine, domestic violence qualifies as an emergency, so this is where your emergency fund would come in handy. It's a best practice that your emergency fund isn't kept where you would normally bank anyway, so hopefully that's an account that you've always kept separate and you've only maintained access to that account. If you don't have an emergency fund, it is a best practice that any money that you are given, whether it be from friends and family or from the allowance that the abuser is giving you, you start to slowly put that away into your separate account. Another tip is to monitor your credit regularly. There are websites like Credit Karma, freecreditreport.com, annualcreditreport.com, where you can retrieve your free credit report annually. Also, you can monitor your credit score just so that you know what's going on with your credit and what's in your name in case someone else has taken access over your accounts or stolen your identity. Another important step is to learn how to budget. If you were used to getting an allowance and then you get a job and you're now controlling your funds, you have to learn how to make sure that you account for your expenses for the month, as well as saving and paying down any debt that may have been racked up while in the abusive relationship. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, as well as the National Network to End Domestic Violence, offers free resources and will point you in the right direction in order to get help on the other tips that I provided to you. These resources will also assist you with getting back on your feet, as recovering from financial abuse can be very strenuous and difficult. Becoming financially independent goes beyond providing for what you need at the moment and also sets you up for long-term financial success. If you are a victim of domestic violence or financial abuse, please contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They can put you in contact with programs and resources in your community that will assist you with getting the help that you need, as well as plan for your safety. I am aware that this information is not the end-all be-all, and it is not all-encompassing of all things domestic violence or financial abuse. However, I really wanted to take some time this month to shed some light on this topic and help those who might be in that situation now. If you have any questions or comments about anything that I've discussed here or recovering from financial abuse, I will also list some resources at the end of this video, as well as my contact information. Until next time, be safe, guys. Bye.